Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Maricopa High School, home of the Rams, another epic edition of Thursday Night Football on the air. So glad you joined us here on the Epic Sports Network YouTube channel. My name is James Poovey, alongside my broadcast partner this evening, Mr. Ed Cole. Ed, we've got a great one here in the 5A division. The Rams coming into tonight's contest with an overall record of 2-4. Notre Dame Prep comes in at 4-2 out of Scottsdale, Arizona. They came about an hour, a little more than an hour travel down here for this afternoon's game. It's going to be a great one here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you get a section game with these two football teams, you know it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. Those section games, you only get a certain amount of them a season, JP. So you know that Maricopa and Notre Dame Prep are primed and ready for some action tonight.
It is a absolutely gorgeous evening outside right now, 79 degrees and clear. The moon is rising just above the field in front of the broadcast booth here. We're just about a minute and a half away from kickoff. Ed, let's talk about tonight's starting lineup. Let's start with those Notre Dame Prep Saints.
Absolutely. Starting at quarterback is Braden Wells, running back Andrew Vines, fullback Wyatt Pearson, at tight end Ben Roberts and Will Halmakangas. At tackles, Duke Fry, Dylan Jones. At the guards, Grant Gage, Matt Reinhart. At center, Jake Burrow. Next offensive line, who's going to come up? Offensive lineman, Ty Borowski. Wide receivers, Gavin Smith, Scotty Simmons, Andrew Rowe, Hudson Stitch, and Cooper Perry. On defense, the defensive linemen, Duke Fry and Matt Reinhart. Heard those names before. Defensive ends, Ben Roberts, Dylan Jones. Linebackers, Brock Narvison. We had a great chance to catch up with him last night. That young man is absolutely outstanding. Ethan Bush, Wyatt Harris. Strong safety, Cameron Mwale. Free safety, Tommy Romano. The cornerbacks, John Ruvo and Keegan Lynch. And the nickel corner will be Gavin Smith.
Yeah, we had a great time last night visiting with both teams, the Maricopa Rams and the Notre Dame Prep Saints. It was great to get to know those guys. That was the starting lineup for the Saints of Notre Dame Prep for Rick Skinner and his Maricopa Rams. He's coaching here in his first season. At quarterback tonight, it'll be the junior Devin Huffman. At running back, Jalen Mitchell, the sophomore, Kyrie Washington, Caleb Garcia, Tony Gibson, and Jalen Morris are the wide receivers. On the offensive line up front, starting at right tackle, Josh Oliveras. We visited with that young man last night. Make sure you get on there and check that out. He was something else.
Yes, he was.
At right guard tonight, Mario Bush, the junior. At center, it's Max Siegel, number 52, and the offensive starters for Coach Rick Skinner, Nate Leon at the left tackle position. On a couple of two-way players, as you'll hear now as we go through the lineup. At defensive tackle, probably playing that three technique, Deshaun McDaniel, the senior. At will linebacker, Anthony Ruiz, the sophomore. At my backer tonight for the Rams, Chris Hayes. The sandbacker tonight, Mr. Ian Palm. This guy has racked up some stats for this Maricopa Rams team on defense. He's got 62 total tackles, Ed, 25 solos, and 37 assists, 8 TFLs, averaging 10.5 tackles per game, and 3.5 sacks as well for the starting Sam linebacker tonight for the Maricopa Rams. At the rover position, kind of a jackbacker position, if you will, Devin Huffman, number 13, the junior. The money backer tonight is Jalen Mitchell, number 10, the sophomore. At free safety, Caleb Garcia, a two-way player as well for the Rams. At the two corner positions on the back end tonight for Maricopa, it'll be Jalen Morris, number 16, the senior, and Tony Gibson, the junior, the other starting corner tonight for the Rams. The Rams have won the toss, and they have elected to receive. Ed, we're about ready to go here at Ram Stadium.
Boy, it's something special about Thursday night football. Absolutely, isn't that, James? And you've got two rivals that battle it out every year for the 5A Santan section title. So this is going to be a huge game toward either one of these two teams being viable when it comes to winning that section.
Absolutely right. Our starting officials tonight, under the direction of Mr. Brian Gessner for the AIA. Our referee this evening, Mr. Steve Hull. The line judge is John Tomsich. Our field judge tonight, Enos Jordan. Our back judge, Mr. Ryan Golden. Our umpire tonight is Brian Douglas. The head linesman here this evening is Thomas Kelly, and our side judge tonight, Mr. Pat Baca. The crowd is filling in nicely, Ed. The band is ready to go. The cheerleaders are on the track. We're about ready for kickoff here. We got a good one.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the weather is beautiful, 79 degrees.
Man, it's perfect.
You can ask for a better night weather-wise. We're looking right at a full moon right in front of us, right there, right off of 347. And this is a beautiful night.
I want to see if I can't capture this kickoff moment right here, Ed, because this is just absolutely majestic out here. Epic just almost doesn't touch it here this evening in Maricopa. It's a great one here tonight. And we are just about ready for kickoff.
And it's Epic on the Epic Sports Network. You know I had to get that in, right?
You absolutely did. Back deep to receive for the Maricopa Rams, number 5, Caleb Garcia, and number 7, Kyrie Washington.
Kyrie Washington is a dangerous threat for Maricopa. This is a guy that has almost 500 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns. He is an absolute monster when it comes to offense and special teams. He's very good on the kickoff returns. So Notre Dame Prep is going to have their hands full in trying to stop number 7.
They absolutely will. Number 4, Andrew Vines on for the kickoff for Notre Dame Prep. This guy does a lot of good things for the Saints. He has got 115 carries for 689 yards, averaging 6 yards per carry to go along with 7 touchdowns, and he kicks it off for the Saints. Pretty impressive right there, young man. We're about ready to roll here at Maricopa High School. Another edition of Thursday Night Football is just about underway. The ball sails just in front of the night sky. It's kicked out of bounds. That obviously is a penalty. And so the Rams will start with an early benefit here from the Saints, and they'll start at their own 25-yard line.
JP, I'm intrigued to see what this Notre Dame defense is going to do. The last 2 games, they've shut out South Mountain and Campo Verde, so they haven't given up any points since October 1st against Mountain View when they gave up 9 points. So this defense is very bullish when you're talking about the Notre Dame Prep Saints.
They are indeed. Correction on that spot. The ball now at the 35-yard line. My mistake. 1st and 10, Maricopa now to start this first offensive series of the ball game. In at quarterback tonight for the Rams, it'll be Devin Hunt. Looks to throw. He's under pressure, and he goes down in the pocket. The pressure applied right there by number 52 for Notre Dame Prep. That is Dylan Jones. He's got 3.5 sacks on the season, and that might be 4.5 right there, Ed.
Dylan Jones and number 90, Ben Roberts, the defensive end. Great pressure of those two young men coming off, getting that pressure on number 13, Devin Huffman, the quarterback, and bringing him down right now. Great start right there for the Saints defensively.
Maricopa comes out now after a huge loss, a loss of 9 on the play now. 2nd down and 19, 2-by-2 on the outside now. The ball is loose, and penalty flags fly at the snap. So a lot of action here in the first 40 seconds of this one, Ed. There are flags going everywhere.
Offsides call on the defense.
Offsides on the defense indeed is the call. So that is another gift right there for the Rams. 5-yard penalty, 2nd and 14 now for Maricopa. Maricopa wearing their red pants, black jerseys, red hats. And Notre Dame Prep in their icy white look tonight. White pants, white jerseys, purple numbers trimmed in gold with purple helmets with a little bit of matte finish there, Ed. I like those look.
Oh, yeah. I like both of these jerseys for both of these football teams. All these young men look ready to go. They know Thursday Night Football is a big deal, so they're going to get out their best uniforms and get ready for the Epic Sports Network and Thursday Night Football.
Nice and clean. Everybody washed their jerseys.
So
I
fresh
like
and
it.
so clean, right?
A gain of 1 on the play right there for Maricopa. Possession play right here for the Rams. 3rd down and 13 here for Maricopa. 2-by-2 on the outside for Maricopa. He claps his hands. He gets the snap, throws over the middle. It's complete. And in for the first down on the reception that time for Maricopa, number 10, Jalen Mitchell. First down, Maricopa. A nice pickup there on a pressure play there. Great heady throw by the quarterback.
And especially coming off of a penalty that the Saints just gave you 5 free yards, and then you get more yards via first down via that pass play.
Here's a handoff now for Maricopa. They try to run it between the tackles. And right there is the Notre Dame Prep defense. A flag on the play. Leading the charge that time for Notre Dame Prep was number 50, Wyatt Harris. And Harris, quite a defensive prowess as well there for Notre Dame Prep. He's got 42 tackles on the season, 27 solos, and 15 assists, along with 4 TFLs for the senior.
Holding call on the offense, so that's going to back up Maricopa.
So it's a seesaw effect right now for Maricopa's offense here, Ed. They're trying to just settle down a little bit and try to get something going offensively and pick up some positive yardage going this way.
Exactly. It's all about a feel. James, you get on this field, you got to get a feel for the offense. You got to get a feel for what the Saints are giving to you defensively. It's all a feel-out game.
First and very long now for Maricopa. The pressure comes off the edge. The ball is thrown to the far sideline. The intended target was number 5, Caleb Garcia. And unfortunately, Devin Huffman incomplete on the play.
Wow, JP, number 17, Keegan Lynch, the defensive back, was right there, almost picked that ball off. He was in great position to force that incompletion on Kyrie Washington. As we mentioned, a deep threat, an absolute threat to open up defenses and blow them apart. Kyrie Washington is.
Washington, one of those players that can definitely take the top off a defense. 2nd and 22 now here with 9:54 remaining in our first quarter. So glad you joined us this evening on the Epic Sports Network. James Poovey alongside my partner Ed Cole. A little inside screen there. It's complete to number 7, Kyrie Washington, and he gets belted by Notre Dame Prep's defense. Leading the charge on that one looked to be number 9 right there for the Saints, Tommy Romano, coming up from the free safety position.
Well, this is a defense that knows how to get after the ball, and they get TFLs, and they're a Johnny on the spot. They know where the football is. They know where the player is that has the football, and they just got a knack of getting to that ball and making stops, JP.
3rd and 19 now for Maricopa. Can the defense for Notre Dame Prep right here get a stop, or will the Rams complete another 3rd down conversion? Let's see. Huffman barks out the signals. He's ready to throw. He fires far side. He's got a man. He elevates and hauls it in. But they say it's incomplete. The official standing right there just past the end of the play. Caleb Garcia in the area right there. And I tell you, Ed, that would have been some kind of catch, but it looks like he just couldn't quite hang on.
Yeah, that was great. Great job by Huffman standing back there, getting that ball. Seeing the wide receiver, he had gotten a step on Keegan Lynch, but of course, unfortunately, Caleb Garcia could not bring that ball in, but he did everything he could physically to bring that ball in, JP.
So now 4th down and 19. That'll force the Rams to punt it away. Back deep to receive for Notre Dame Prep. That appears to be number 5, Gavin Smith, the standout senior wide receiver for the Saints. Smith now fields it at the 23, coming up the far side with it, crossing the 35-40 with a burst of speed across midfield. He's off to the races. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Gavin Smith. A house call out the gate right here for Notre Dame Prep. And how about that, Ed? What a burst of speed by that young man. He started right there, hit the gas at the 40-yard line, and he was gone.
Yes, sir. JP coming into the game, he had 8 punt returns for 95 yards, averaged about 12 yards a run. But on that play, Gavin Smith was able to find seams and creases, and he knew exactly where he wanted to run. Also another guest that we had last night on the broadcast as we prepared the game. But great run back by Gavin Smith to put his team up 6-0. If you can get your special teams involved as well as your offense and your defense, you're in good position.
Andrew Vines with a good snap, hold, and the kick is up and true. With 8:46 remaining here in our first quarter, our score, the Saints on top of the Rams on the road, 7-0. We'll step aside, take a short timeout, and come right back for more Thursday Night Football right here on the Epic Sports Network. Stay with us. Welcome back to Maricopa High School. Our score 7-0 with 8:46 remaining here in our first quarter. James Poovey coming to you alongside my partner Ed Cole. Ball bobbled at the 10-yard line, finally scooped up there by the Rams, but they say he's going to be down at, it looks like, the 7-yard line. So once again, Maricopa is going to start deep in their own territory, looking to get something going offensively here for Coach Skinner.
They have to get something going offensively because Notre Dame Prep got on the scoreboard via their special teams, and Gavin Smith with that amazing punt return for a touchdown. So, yes, it is on the offense right now for Maricopa to get a score, get a response. Let's see what Devin Huffman and his entire offense can do to respond.
Folks, make sure and get ready to follow us on Twitter at Epic Sports AZ. And during tonight's fourth quarter, you can vote for the Pit Boss Grill's game MVP. More on that to come. A handoff, keeping it between the tackles that time. It looked to be number 10 for Maricopa, Jalen Mitchell. That running back has got 31 carries, 83 yards on the season. And he can catch the ball as well, Ed Cole. 10 receptions for 66 yards for the 5'9", 180-pound sophomore.
Oh, absolutely. It's been kind of tough sledding for Maricopa to run the ball this year. They have now they've got over 300 yards rushing through 6 games. So they're going to continue to pound the rock. At least they're going to try to establish a running game. Hasn't worked so far this season, but why not try it and see if it works tonight?
2-by-2 on the outside for Huffman. He's going to throw it down the field. Good defense on that time for the Rams. The ball intended for number 1, Antonio Gibson, but in defense, coming up in defense was the senior, number 5, Gavin Smith, and he has been more than effective, to say the least, here so far for the Notre Dame Prep Saints.
Yes, sir, he has. Gavin Smith is an absolute player. Offense, defense, he's one of those two-way players. Both of these teams have a lot of two-way players. That's the way it has to work. Offense, defense, special team. Actually, you can be a three-way player, couldn't you?
You can, actually. and some of these guys are, let me tell you, as we go through the night.
Yeah.
We talked with Coach Skinner last night. 3rd and long now here for Maricopa. 3rd and 8 to be exact. 8:01 remaining here in our first quarter. 2-by-2 on the outside for Huffman. He swings it into the flat. Jaden Mitchell on the reception, and the Notre Dame Prep Saints defense closes it in a hurry on that one. A gain of maybe 1 yard. 4th and 8 now upcoming, and the Rams are going to have to punt it away. 4th and 7.
JP, that was number 90, Ben Roberts, again, the defensive end. He's a 6'2", 220-pound junior from Scottsdale. He just absolutely he saw where Jalen Mitchell was going. He's got great pursuit, and he's got great speed, and he was able to come around that edge and get Jalen Mitchell and bring him down there, forcing the punt.
Back deep to receive once again, the dangerous number 5, Gavin Smith. Will they kick it to Gavin Smith? I think we said the same thing last week, Ed. Will they kick it to Cole Martin? That one takes a nice Rams carom across the 50-yard line and finally brought to a stop there by number 7, Kyrie Washington, the 5'10 junior for Maricopa. 7:06 remaining here in our first quarter. The visiting Saints on top of the Rams by the score of 7-0.
And that's pretty good that Maricopa decided not to kick to Gavin Smith because they saw what the end result was last time they kicked to him.
Bradley.
So they decided to kick away from him and let their offense do some damage. If they're going to let something happen from Notre Dame Prep, let their offense do it, not let it happen on one play from Gavin Smith.
Do we not have some dangerous kick returners here in the state of Arizona? I mean, these guys are very Devin Hester-esque, if you will, Ed. Up the middle with a nice burst, crossing the 50 and finally brought down near the 45-yard line. Number 4, Andrew Vines on the tote. He's got 115 carries for 689 yards on the season, 7 touchdowns, averaging over 100 yards a ball game and 6 yards a tote. You could see the power on display right there.
Yes, sir. You talk about power. This is a team that averages over 180 yards rushing on the season, and they've got 13 rushing touchdowns. They are very good at running the football, the Saints are.
More plays available now for Coach Prelock here on 2nd and short. Once again, number 4, Vines gets the call, and a nice defensive play there by Maricopa's number 6, Jaden Kanui. The 5'7", 205-pound senior. That's a big number 6 out there, Ed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, my goodness. That's why they can run the ball so well, and they're really good offensively because they've got such a strong offensive line.
A gain of 4 on the play. 1st down and 10 now for Notre Dame Prep. They are inside and marching through Maricopa territory now. Ball spotted at the 43-yard line. Under center now. Handoff out of the eye. Power football once again here for Notre Dame Prep. Andrew Vines on the carry. And Braden Wales just lines up under center and lets his big boys up front pave the way for those fast, elusive running backs.
Yes, sir. Number 52, Dylan Jones. Number 66, Grant Gage. Jake Burrow, number 75, the center. Just so much meat, so much girth there, I should say.
Meat and potatoes.
Yeah, meat and potatoes. Yeah, those brothers love some meat and potatoes. That's why they're so big. That's why that's why they're so athletic and they're so strong because they like to eat a lot.
2nd and short now. They emptied out here for the quarterback. The pressure comes from Maricopa, and down goes Wales. or excuse me, Wells, number 32 on the attack right there for Maricopa. That was Ian Palm. We had him on the show last night. Visited with that young man, a heady player. Loves to eye up a play just like that right there and get a sack.
Yes, sir.
Notched in his belt.
Coming into the game, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, 62 tackles, 8 tackles for loss. Now, I guess you put another tackle on there, so he's got at least 63 and 9 tackles for loss. That guy just loves to get to the football, and he talked about that. He just loves to hit people.
That was an 8-yard TFL right there for Ian Palm. Shotgun snap here. Penalty flags fly. It's going to be a free play. Notre Dame Prep taking advantage. They complete the ball out to number 14. That's Cooper Perry, a 6'1", 160-pound freshman. And how about Cooper Perry, just a freshman?
Yeah, it's so
Watch
much.
this catch and run, Ed.
You talk about the depth that the Saints have on offense. They just go from freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. They've got so much depth up and down that lineup that Coach Prelock has at his disposal to work with and groom and make better young men just as well as good football players.
Unfortunately for Notre Dame Prep, a legal shift is the call. So that is going to negate that fantastic reception right there. But rest assured, we'll see more of Mr. Perry here tonight. 3rd and 15 now upcoming here for the Saints. 4:26 and counting here in our first quarter. 7-0 Notre Dame Prep on top of Maricopa. Wells now from the shotgun. He looks to throw. A beautiful pocket, elevating and nearly hauling it in is number 2, Brock Narveson. It bounced off the chest plate there of Narveson, and unfortunately for Notre Dame Prep, he couldn't haul that one in.
Yeah, but give Jalen Morris, the cornerback, number 16, credit for staying with Narveson right there as they went stride for stride down there, and he was there to affect that pass and knock that away and force the incompletion from Wells to Narveson.
That was a fantastic play right
Heady
there
play,
by
yes.
Morris. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Forcing that non-third down conversion, if you will. 4:11 remaining here in our first quarter. The Saints are going to punt it away and give it back to the Rams. Number 10 fields it at the 15-yard line with a stiff arm coming near side, crossing the 20, and he's finally wrestled to the turf there by Keegan Lynch. Number 10, Jalen Mitchell on the return right there for Maricopa. Mitchell, just a sophomore. We talked about it a little bit earlier, Ed. I tried to talk about it anyway before the play interrupted me. We talked with Coach Skinner last night. He's got a really young ball club, but he's got some really talented young guys on this team.
Oh yeah, he's so into his team, his football team. He loves the talent level that he has. As you mentioned, it's a young football team, but it's a team that he can groom. He's grooming and he's working with them. Yes, they're 2-4. It's not where they want to be through the first 6 games of the season, but he's still encouraged by what he has from his young men, and he's going to continue to make them better and make this football team better.
3-by-1 on the outside now for Huffman. From the shotgun, he fires far side. It's nearly intercepted. The intended target on the far side was Caleb Garcia, and in coverage right there for the Saints. Number 17, Keegan Lynch, a ball-hawking defensive back, the senior at 5'11", 180, and that was a great play.
It was, but Huffman he's got to be lucky that Keegan Lynch did not take that back to the house, because that really could have been a pick 6. Boy, I'm sure he would love to have that throwback right now.
Oh, you know he would. 2nd and 10 now, no gain on the play. Huffman now. Huffman looks to throw. The pocket collapses. The ball's on the turf. It comes loose, and the Saints appear to have the football for the moment. Number 44 on the recovery, Robert Lenz, but a penalty flag on the play. And it looks to be a hold, Ed, is the early indication, and that is actually confirmed by our referee, Steve Hall.
And, of course, Notre Dame Prep's going to decline that because they went to turnover. They went that field position off the fumble.
So quite a turn of events right there. So now the Rams quickly back on defense here. And Notre Dame Prep will break the huddle. 1st down and 10 going in here for the Saints from the 23-yard line. Wells in the shotgun. 2-by-1 on the outside. Split backs. They give it up the middle. And just a gaping hole there in the middle provided by that Notre Dame Prep offensive line. Once again, number 4, Andrew Vines on the carry, but those guys are blowing the holes up and up front.
Yeah, that is a strong offensive line that's allowing Vines to get all those yards. They are just destroying the Maricopa defensive line. They're just pushing them around, exerting their will on that defensive line and doing whatever they want to do, allowing Vines to do whatever he wants to do.
2nd and 5 now here for the Saints. Wells goes under center. He turns and gives to the up back. And that, once again, is number 4, Andrew Vines. And this guy is carving up some yards here tonight at Maricopa High School.
Yes, sir, he is. You mentioned all the yards that he's gotten so far already this season. Now he's clearly well over 700 yards, and he's on his way. What they hope is to his 8th touchdown so far this season. But for them to get it off the turnover, and now they go ahead and reestablish that running game, that's really strong if you're Notre Dame Prep.
That is what they are all about, ground and pound, and it is on display here tonight for the Saints. Once again, Wells goes under center, power formation now. 2 receivers to the right. They send big number 90 in motion. They give it with a blocker up ahead. 90, that blocker indeed, and Vines once again gets the call. A gain of 1 yard on the play there for Notre Dame Prep. 2 minutes and 32 seconds remaining here in our first quarter. So glad you joined us here on the Epic Sports Network. Special shout out to our guy KDB out there at Peoria Sports Complex tonight. A little Arizona Fall League, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, we miss you, KD.
Second and goal now, Saints from the 9. Wells gets under center and penalty flags fly. Dead ball foul, offsides assessed to Maricopa. So that will give the Saints 5 more yards. The ball spotted just inside the 5 now, Ed. So essentially 2nd and goal here upcoming for Notre Dame Prep.
And when you're the Maricopa's defense and you're not being able to stop this running game, you don't want to give them extra yards. You don't want to give them that much closer to the end zone, especially as prolific as this running game is.
Wells once again under center. He gives the motion man the signal. They run it up the gut once again. It's Vines plunging his way ahead for the Notre Dame Prep touchdown. Once again, Andrew Vines scores his 8th touchdown of the season, and he puts his Saints on top of the Maricopa Rams 13-0 here with 1:47 remaining in our first quarter. How about it?
Great job, JP, of the Saints taking advantage of that Maricopa fumble. You don't want to turn the ball over when you're going against Notre Dame Prep or any football team, but if you turn the ball over, you're giving your opposition that many more chances to blow the ball game over.
And how about Andrew Vines? Hey, don't run off the field quite yet, young man. We need you to kick the PAT for that touchdown that you just scored.
Right.
1:47 remaining here in our first quarter. We'll step aside, take a short break, and come right back to Maricopa right after this.
I'm Marty Smith, and I'm a host and reporter for ESPN. When this opportunity came my way to become a member of Pit Boss Nation, I just started laughing, honestly. I started laughing because I was like, first of all, it fits right in my wheelhouse, but second, it's another way to build community. So I'm ready to crank that thing up.
Why do people everywhere love my style checking?
It has rewards you'll flip for.
I love my travel rebates!
With my style, the spotlight's always on me.
We can send money with Zelle. Go.
Welcome back to Maricopa High School. 1:47 remaining here in our first quarter. Our score, the Saints on top of the Rams. The Rams with a nice return right there by number 7, Kyrie Washington, and he has made a couple special teams plays here tonight for Maricopa.
For Maricopa to get back in this game, they've got to get number 7 involved, Kyrie Washington. He is the guy that is a playmaker on offense, so they've got to find a way to get him involved. Rick Skinner, the head coach, has got to be able to find a way to get number 7 loose and get him open and do what he needs to do, what he's done all season long.
Well, these teams have had about a full quarter to feel each other out, especially up front on the offensive line, and exactly what moves are going to be made up there. So we should be settling in for some good football here going into our second quarter. Shotgun snap. Oh, he is drilled in the backfield, and the ball is picked off by Notre Dame Prep's number 2, Brock Narveson, and the quarterback, Devin Huffman, gets absolutely rocked in the backfield by Notre Dame Prep. How about it?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Actually, Kevin, James, that was Damian Logan, the quarterback. So they subbed him in for Devin Huffman, but still for him to take that kind of shot, great defensive pressure by the Saints to pop him, forcing the ball to go up there, and then you get the interception.
And how about that high-point interception right there for number 2, Brock Narveson. Such a versatile athlete for the Saints. And once again, these guys in business now at the Maricopa 30-yard line. First down and 10 for the Saints. Power football, Ed, right here. You got to love it. Vines, the lone setback. He gets the call. They go off right tackle. He plunges his way across the 25-yard line, finally brought down there by a host of Maricopa Rams, but not before he gains 5 positive yards for the Saints. 2nd and 5 upcoming here for the Notre Dame Prep.
And JP, for Narveson, that is his 4th interception of the season.
Unbelievable.
Boy, he has a knack of getting to the ball, right, JP?
He absolutely does. That brings up a question I wanted to ask you, Ed. I don't hear a lot of guys out here on the West Coast yelling Oski when they get that interception to cue their teammates. Hey, I got an interception. It's free game. You can block and you can hit. I don't know if they even know that. You can block and hit anyone.
Sure.
When that ball's picked off, there's no, hey, roughing this guy and roughing that guy.
Oh.
We're roughing everybody.
Oh, yeah, James, it's a fair game. Once that ball is up in the air and it's intercepted, anybody can be taken out.
Timeout on the field. 45.6 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. We'll step aside and take a short timeout as well. You're watching Thursday Night Football right here on the Epic Sports Network. Stay with us. We'll be right back to Maricopa.
What up, Pit Boss Nation? I am Patrick Peterson. I am a father of 2. I am married, play professional football, very fun, outgoing guy. My daughter loved for me to cook ribs and steak. Me, honestly, I like the vertical because I'm able to put more things in there. I can get some ribs in there, I can get a pork butt in there, I can get some chicken in there. You know, I love everything about my vertical, man. How you can just adjust the temperature at ease, how the pellet is easy. Just a very, very cool grill.
Searching for meaning in a relentless world, always connected, but somehow alone, trapped by illusion. We offer another path, where the battle to belong begins. Awakened by a calling, united by the cause you fight for. No one can take away your...
Welcome back to Maricopa High School, 14-0. The Saints on top of the Rams. A handoff coming near side on the call this time. Brady Meyer, the 5'8", 155-pound sophomore, who has now 17 carries on the season, along with 1 touchdown. He'll add 3 yards to his 116 total for 119 yards on the season. Just about 20 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Notre Dame Prep in prime position once again to punch it in here, Ed. Wells under center. A toss coming near side, skirting a tackler at the 15, and it brought down is number 10, Brady Meyer, and they are running the football at will right now, Notre Dame Prep.
Give number 22, Wyatt Pearson, the running back / linebacker / fullback, credit for giving that lead block for the running back to get those yards. If it was not for that lead block, he probably wouldn't have gotten the yards that he did give. So give his brother credit for laying that block and making that hole for him to get those yards.
This is the ultimate team game, Ed. Everybody has to understand that. It's all got to happen as a synchronous unit, and that's how it goes down. 14-0 at the end of our first quarter. We'll step aside and come right back for quarter number 2 here from Maricopa High School. Stay with us here on the Epic Sports Network.
Eric Almirola, and I drive in the NASCAR Cup Series. I like to think of myself as a fun-loving guy. I have a wife and 2 beautiful children. I've really enjoyed the partnership that I've had with Pit Boss, and that it's still very new and very fresh, but it just feels so authentic. It feels so real, so just easy and down to earth, and I just really enjoy that.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Welcome back to Maricopa High School. Thursday Night Football on the air here on the Epic Sports Network. First and 10 now for Notre Dame Prep. Wells once again under center. They fake the give. He rolls out to his right and finds number 16 in the end zone for the touchdown. That is Will Halmakangas, the 5'11", 185-pound senior tight end with the touchdown, and he was wide open right there across the goal line, Ed.
JP, his first touchdown of the season. Great play action fake right there, and Will Makangas, how Makangas was wide open there in the end zone, and it's just an easy pitch and catch right there for the touchdown.
Unbelievable job now. The Saints increase their lead to 20-0. Up and true, number 4, Andrew Vines puts it through the uprights. Saints 21, Rams nothing. And how about that pitch and catch right there from number 8, Braden Wells, to the big fella down the field, the tight end, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling in there for a touchdown.
You know, James, that could be worthy of a Pit Boss game MVP, a play like that from Braden Wells to Will Halmakangas.
I'm glad you said that, Ed.
Yeah, what a great segue. Folks, get on Twitter right now on Epic Sports AZ. We're gonna get you to vote on the Pit Boss game MVP as we go on. We'll get that going in the fourth quarter. We'll give you some options from Notre Dame Prep and from Maricopa on both sides of the.
Yes, we are an equal broadcast.
That's right, both respective sides of both football teams, and you, the listeners and the fans, can decide who you want as the Pit Boss game MVP tonight. So be on the lookout for that come fourth quarter. Again, go to Epic Sports AZ on Twitter and follow us, and we'll get you that information, and you guys can go ahead and vote.
11 minutes and 54 seconds remaining here in our first half. It's all Saints so far here over the Rams. Back deep to receive now for Maricopa. It'll be number 7, Kyrie Washington, along with number 5, Caleb Garcia. And one of these guys is looking to get loose here very shortly, Ed. A little knuckleball there. It bounces at the 5 and trickles into the end zone for the touchback. Up next for Maricopa, after this battle here tonight with the Notre Dame Prep Saints, they go up the street a pace. They go to Scottsdale themselves to battle a very tough Horizon Huskies ball club.
Oh, that's going to be another tough one. And for Gilbert and for Notre Dame Prep next Friday night, they're at Gilbert, another section game for them, followed by Saguaro on November 5th. So the road gets no easier for Notre Dame Prep after this game. Of course, this is a tough one still. Even though they're up 21-0, we know Maricopa is game, and they're going to continue to fight.
Oh, absolutely. There's a whole lot more football here left to be played tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
As Ed mentioned, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Epic Sports AZ so you can vote for that Pit Boss Grills game MVP during our fourth quarter. Shotgun snap, they give it. Number 10 on the carry for Maricopa. That was Jalen Mitchell, and on the stop, Big Ben Roberts there for the Notre Dame Prep Saints. Roberts with 31 tackles on the season. How about this? 23 of those solo, 8 assists, along with 3 sacks and 7 tackles for a loss.
And that's something we talked about on the broadcast last night, how good these young men are at solo tackles. You see so many assists, but to see all these solo tackles, these guys got 15, 20, 25 solo tackles. That just shows how good these young men are at getting tackles themselves.
You know, I wanted to mention that to you, Ed, because I was going through these stats as we were prepping for this ball game, and you don't see that a whole lot. I'll come back to it here in a moment. As the Rams go to the air, it's underthrown and picked off at the 45-yard line. Spotting that in the air and hauling it in was number 28, John Ruvo, the senior defensive back, 5 foot.
Yeah, it just the ball just hung up in the air way too long. They were trying to complete the pass to Kyrie Washington, but John Ruvo, the 4th, was right there because it had so much air, so much. The trajectory was so high, it allowed number 28 to get there and be in prime position to make that interception. If he maybe would have thrown it on a frozen rope, it may have been a different situation. But when a ball hangs up that high, usually bad things happen.
Absolutely. So now the Saints in command once again here from their own 45. First down and 10. Wells goes under center. He gives. It's Vines on the carry. He picks up about a yard before he runs into number 32 for Maricopa, and that is Ian Palm.
Yeah, Vines running off that right tackle and right guard. Duke Fry and Matt Reinhart leading the way for Andrew Vines. But as you mentioned, Ian Palm, one of those, probably the most solid tackler on this Maricopa defense. brought him down before he got extra yards after that.
Yeah, they're going to need Palm and a few other guys to help them out, get some stops on defense, and then they got to get this offense turned up and going now up against these Notre Dame Prep Saints. 2nd and 9 down for the Saints. 2-by-1 on the outside now for Wells. He gives it to Andrew Vines up the middle, and he plunges his way across midfield and runs into number 10 there for Maricopa, Jalen Mitchell. Another powerful run right there for number 4, Andrew Vines. This guy has got a motor.
Man, does he. It's hard for that Rams defense to bring him down because by the time he gets through that offensive line, he's 4 or 5 yards up into that defense.
He gets to full speed real quick.
Very quickly.
9:50 and counting here in our first half. Ball at the 49-yard line of Maricopa. 3rd down possession play right here for the Saints. Wells back to pass. He fires far side. It's complete. A missile into number 14. The ball caught at the 38-yard line on the reception there for Notre Dame Prep, Cooper Perry. And I told you we were going to hear more from that freshman here tonight, Ed.
Yes, sir. Great job of Wells sitting back there. Of course, he's got all day because his offensive line is giving him that kind of time to find number 14, Cooper Perry. Cooper Perry wide open, and just Wells makes that completion right to where only Perry could catch it because the corners and the safeties are playing a little bit softer off of him, allowing Perry to be wide open and catch that ball, make the easy catch.
21-0. Our score, the Saints on top of the Maricopa Rams. We hope you're enjoying tonight's broadcast here on the Epic Sports Network. Make sure and tell your friends. We got a few more games left this season, Ed. We are chugging our way through this 11-game schedule, my friend. Next week, we are going out to
be determined. TBD. There we go.
Oh, boy.
It's okay.
Notre Dame Prep on the run once again. They have got some bell cows here for these Saints. That is number 4, Andrew Vines, once again on the tote.
Yeah, JP, I'm telling you, man, this offensive line is so strong. And as you mentioned, once Andrew Vines gets that handoff from Braden Wells, it's like he's already in 5th gear. Before he even hits through the offensive line, he's already, as you mentioned, a missile. He's gone.
Just gone. 1st and 10 now for Notre Dame Prep. Once again, they are moving the football at will. Play action pass or play action fake, and Wills turns around, and he is hit right in the mouth by number 6, Jaden Kanui. How about that stick? That is what you call laying the wood right there, Ed. Take a look at this.
You got that right. The defensive end, Jaden Kanui, 5'7", 205, used every bit of his size and that weight to pop the quarterback right there, Braden Wells. Ooh, that was a shot.
Wells turned around, and all he saw was Big 6 bearing down on him like a freight train, like we see running through Maricopa here a couple times tonight, Ed, so far.
Right.
8 minutes remaining here in our first half. 21-0 Saints. A 5-yard loss on the play. 2nd and 15 now. Wells goes under center, and it looks like we have a little bit of motion up front. Dead ball foul. Delay of game against the Saints. So that'll back them up 5 yards, and they'll reload here.
And JP, for the Rams, they'll take that 5-yard loss for the Saints as well as they're running the football and as well as that offense is moving. They need a break right now.
Absolutely. Next week, Ed, we are out at Yonker High School, home of the Rough Riders.
That's right.
For the Deer Valley Skyhawks at the Yonker Rough Riders. That one going to be on the air at 6:50 p.m. next Thursday night from Yonker High School.
Yonker, we're coming your way next week. We'll see you in a week.
Absolutely right. Wells now from the shotgun. He's going to roll out to his left. He's got pressure coming. He fires. It's complete. Number 3 on the reception right there for Notre Dame Prep, Scotty Simmons getting into the ballgame tonight. And Jalen Morris on the stop right there, cutting the legs out for Maricopa.
That's something you have to do. You've got to be able to cut the legs out of a guy like Scotty Simmons and all these different weapons, because if not, they will continue to carve you to pieces. Braden Wells will just use every single one of his weapons. Wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, whoever he can throw out there, he'll throw at you.
3rd down and 15 now. Possession play here for Notre Dame Prep. 21-0. It's all Saints. Shotgun snap. Wells looks to go. He's into the end zone. Number 7, running right down the seam for Notre Dame Prep. That's Hudson Stitch, but there is a flag on the play, so we will check the infraction. That was a beautiful ball right there from Braden Wells.
Yes, it was.
Illegal man downfield is the call on Notre Dame Prep, so unfortunately that one will be nullified. They'll mark off the penalty yardage, and it'll be a third and a little bit longer now for the Saints.
Boy, that's such a shame because that was, as you mentioned, a great throw from Wells to Hudson Stitch as Stitch was wide.
And that could be a little pass interference. Looks like it's going to be defensive holding.
Yep, defensive holding. You're right. As they pick up the flag.
So that'll move the Saints up a little bit, but possibly they'll get another crack at the third down here, but instead it'll be only 3rd and 10 now. So a huge gain there off the penalty for Notre Dame Prep.
Well, JP, I'll take 3rd and 10 over 3rd and 20 any day. Won't you?
Every single time. And twice on Sundays. 3rd and 9 now, to be exact. Ball spotted at the 22-yard line. Empty backfield now. 5 wide receivers for Braden Wells. He looks to throw. Pressure comes up the A-gap. He's hit as he throws it. What a catch into the end zone for the touchdown. You talk about getting mossed. That's exactly what that was right there. Brock Narveson, Ed. How about that grab?
How did Narveson get over Devin Huffman right there and just extend himself and make that catch right there? Look at him. Just extend his body and just reach his arms over Devin Huffman to make that catch.
Unbelievable. That, my friends, is going to go on the SC Top 10 tonight. Ed Cole, I'm going to make sure of that. That was some kind of catch.
That might be a you got mossed. Come on now.
Up and true is the PAT right there for number 4, Andrew Vines. 28-0 our score. The Saints on top of the Rams. 7:25 remaining here in our first half. We'll step aside and take a short timeout. Come right back to Maricopa High School right after this. Stay with us here on the Epic Sports Network. More Thursday Night Football coming your way next. Welcome back to Maricopa High School. 28-0 our score. 7:25 remaining here in our first half. James Pruby alongside my partner this evening, Mr. Ed Cole. Special shout out to our production crew, the Joneses, on hand as always, and Mr. Joey Mosquero providing you those fantastic sideline shots right there of tonight's action here in the 5A division. Joey, you're killing it down there, man. Great job.
Thanks, Joey. Great shot of us.
Joey getting a shot of the booth up there for half a second.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jonesy panned to it or not, but that's okay.
Wow, JP, what a avalanche from Notre Dame Prep, right? Gavin Smith gets the punt return for a touchdown in the first quarter. Andrew Vines has a touchdown run, puts them up 14-0. Second quarter, tight end Will Halmakangas gets a touchdown catch, and then Brock Narveson with that acrobatic catch over Devin Huffman. Again, the way for how he extended his body over him and made that catch is beyond belief, man.
Unbelievable stuff. Huffman now from the shotgun. He hands it off. The give to number 10 for Maricopa, Jalen Mitchell. And on the stop there for Notre Dame Prep, number 52, Dylan Jones. Another one of those guys with a whole bunch of solos. 30 total tackles, 20 and 10. And the quarterback, Damian Logan into the ballgame now for Maricopa. My mistake. So Logan now in at quarterback here for the Maricopa Rams. 2nd and 10, no gain on the play. Under 7 minutes remaining here in our first half. Jalen Mitchell flanked to his right. The pocket collapses. He gets hit. The ball is intercepted at the 35-yard line. Number 9 for the Notre Dame Prep Saints picks it off at the 34-yard line. Tommy Romano The 5'10", 170-pound junior, right place, right time right there for Notre Dame Prep.
Yeah, third turnover for Maricopa. Just triple teamed. Damian Logan had 3 guys coming on him. He felt the pressure. He rolled out to his left, and he was forced to throw the ball away. He took a shot, and that's kind of why the ball went kind of awry, and that allowed Tommy Romano to make that interception. But still, 3 turnovers against this Notre Dame Prep team, that's a no-no. That's an absolute killer.
Yeah, you cannot do that for sure. 6:41 remaining here in our first half, and now the Saints once again in business from the Maricopa 35-yard line. A tight trips formation attached to the right. Braden Wells, play action now, rolls out to his left. He fires back over across the middle. The only guy in the area was big number 90, Ben Roberts, and he's down here as a tight end as well, Ed, and I guess he was out on a route right there.
At least there was not a cornerback or a safety there to make that interception.
Exactly.
With that miscommunication.
So Wells dodging a bullet right there. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 upcoming here for Notre Dame Prep.
Boy, JP, isn't Ben Roberts an imposing figure? I told it before. I said it before, 6'2", 220. When you look out there, he is a giant.
He looks a lot bigger than that, doesn't he? 220 looks kind of like an understatement.
Yeah, he looks like he's 6'4", like 240.
Timeout on the field. 6:35 remaining here in our first half. 28-0. It's all Saints over the Rams. So glad you joined us here this evening on the Epic Sports Network YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll notify you anytime we go live. We've got a few more games left here on the schedule. Next week we'll be at Yunker for Deer Valley at Yunker. The following week we will be at Dobson High School for the Tucson Badgers coming up from southern Arizona's Pima County to battle the Dobson Mustangs. And then our final game of the season will be at Northwest Christian High School with the Greenway Demons and the Northwest Christian Crusaders.
Very nice.
It's been a fantastic season. I can't believe it's gone by this fast.
I know.
But it always does.
Oh.
That's the sad part.
I mean, that's always the phrase, right? Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, exactly.
This season has flown by for us, and it's flown by for you, the viewers, as you've enjoyed so much great high school football here in the great state of Arizona.
Yes, and we like to get you guys, we like to get everyone subscribed to that YouTube channel. So make sure you get on there and hit that subscribe button. Wells gives it to number 4, just running through tacklers there. Andrew Vines on the call once again for Notre Dame Prep, and this guy is just gashing this Rams defense right now.
James, the combination of this offensive line and Andrew Vines, he just runs straight up the middle. He's got this wide open gap. It's like the Red Sea is parted, and Andrew Vines has all this real estate to run through, and it's just amazing how he just hits the hole, and he's gone.
2nd and 10 now for the Saints of Notre Dame Prep. They come out with a trips right, and now we get a timeout on the field called by the Maricopa Rams. We'll step aside and take that timeout with them. You're watching Thursday Night Football here on the Epic Sports Network. Stay with us. We'll be right back to Maricopa High School in just a bit. Welcome back to Maricopa High School. 28-0 our score. The Rams on top of the Saints on top of the Rams. Trips right now. They send a man in motion for Wells. He's under center. They hand it off right guard and into the end zone for the Notre Dame Prep touchdown. Number 21, Deacon Shea. And Shea, just a sophomore, How about that tote right there? 5'10", 195 pounds, running behind those pads.
Deacon Shea lost his shoe, but he still was able to get into the end zone. And by our count, I would assume this is his first rushing touchdown. We're looking on Max Preps, and I don't see him on there, Deacon Shea. So I'm assuming this is his first touchdown of the season. And if it is, congratulations, young man.
Absolutely. That was a fantastic run right there, running behind those big fellows up front. That's how you do it. And now we have a little bit of extracurricular activity right there, Ed. I believe the frustration starting to mount here for the Maricopa Rams.
And it would be very well warranted. You give up three turnovers, and Notre Dame Prep takes full advantage of all of them. You knew coming into this game you cannot afford to turn the ball over, not one time, James, but you've turned it over 3 times, and the Saints have taken full advantage of every single one of them. So no wonder the frustrations are high.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough road to hoe here, down 35-0, but these Rams will keep fighting, especially here at home tonight, and we are so glad you joined us here on the Epic Sports Network YouTube channel. Don't forget, make sure and follow us on Twitter at Epic Sports AZ so you can vote for that Pit Boss Grill's game MVP. We are already tallying the final 4 here. We got 2 representatives coming up from each team, and it is a fan-voted game MVP. For example, last week, Ed, we had co-MVPs, 1 representative from Basha, 1 from Mountain Point.
And that was really cool how the fans voted in and gave love to both respective football teams.
Absolutely. 5:56 remaining here in our first half. 1 more touchdown, and we will be under the AIA running clock rule. The Saints and number 4, Mr. Do Everything, Andrew Vines, who I think is going to change the oil in the bus before they go home tonight. He's going to kick it off from the Rams' 45-yard line.
Who's to say he hasn't changed the oil already before they left the campus to come here?
He might do it at halftime.
I'm sure he will, yeah.
This guy's unbelievable. There's another knuckleball right there for Vines. It trickles into the end zone, and it'll come out for a Maricopa touchback.
Well, James, you've got under 6 minutes left in the first half. Of course, if you're a Maricopa, you'd like to drive down and get a score, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. You would love to get something on the board before the half so you can go into the locker room and maybe talk about some positive from that drive, or maybe that interception return for a touchdown, or wherever it may be, to get you on that board and get your team back into this ball game.
Exactly. Anything that's, as you mentioned, a positive, anything that's a shining light on what you were able to do. It's not much so far in the first half, but they need something.
Yes. Maricopa hands it off once again now. Number 10 on the carry, Jalen Mitchell. Damian Logan remains in at quarterback for the Maricopa Rams. And Logan is quite the player as well for Maricopa. Just a sophomore, 6 foot, 170-pound quarterback. 62 of 119 for 735 yards on the season, 8 touchdowns along with 8 picks
and
for
also
Damian Logan.
I'm sorry, and also 31 rushes for 54 yards and a touchdown coming to this game, so he can throw the ball as well as run the ball.
Not too shabby. He picks up a nice little chunk of yardage right there. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and short here for Maricopa.
As we're under 5 minutes to go here before the half.
3rd and 2 to be exact. Ball at the 28-yard line. Two by one now on the outside for Logan. Mitchell once again gets the call. He tries to dance his way out the right side, and waiting for him is a host of white jerseys. Among those guys, number 50 there for Notre Dame Prep, Wyatt Harris. He's been in on a couple plays tonight, the senior for the Saints.
Harris, along with Ethan Bush, number 33, and number 56, Ty Borowski, who also doubles, offensive lineman and a defensive lineman. And that's one of the strong suits of Notre Dame Prep, this football team, is they're so well disciplined. When they offensively, defense, just all three phases of this football team, you can see the discipline level in the way this team is coached and the way these young men play the game of football. There's no mistakes allowed.
Well, you talk about the discipline, Ed. I don't think I've been doing this this is my 6th season of calling Arizona high school football, and I don't think I've ever looked at a stat sheet and seen so many guys on defense with more solo tackles than assists. And that tells me that those guys are sure tacklers, and they are coached up correctly, and they are going to make sure and get that stop.
Exactly. You're looking at Narvison, Shea, Romano, Bush, Harris, Jones. We can go down the line. Fry, Roberts. All these guys have double-digit solo tackles. Coming into the game, they've got, of their 396 tackles before this game, 280 were solo.
That's unbelievable.
What does that tell you, JP?
That is unbelievable. That tells me that they are doing tackling drills in every single practice. That's what that tells me.
And also, they take pride in what they do.
Exactly. 4th and 2 now for the Rams. The Saints looking for a prideful 4th down stop right here. They change the play at the line of scrimmage. They give it, and he is bottled up in a hurry. Jalen Mitchell gets the call, and the Notre Dame Prep defense swallows him up.
Borowski, number 56, number 44, Robert Lenz, one of the defensive linemen. There were at least 5 guys that were in on that play from that Saints defense to make that stop. Gang tackling, that's what you call it.
A swarm of defenders right there for the Saints, and he just got about a step and a half before he got somebody right in his grill.
Wow. Talk about the ultimate level of pressure from a defense, right?
Absolutely.
As you mentioned, before you even take 2 steps, you've got 5 people all over you.
A turnover on downs right there for the Rams. Now the ball spotted at the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 here for Notre Dame Prep. Vines goes up to the line. They emptied out now for Braden Wells. He fires far side. It's complete. Number 7 on the catch. He's got blockers. He's going to run his way towards the end zone and into the end zone for the touchdown. Number 7, Hudson Stitch. And leading the way for Hudson Stitch right there, getting a lot of credit, or he's about to get some. Big 66 Grant Gage, the 6', 215-pound senior, making it happen.
Great job by Gage allowing Stitch to get those yards and get downfield. But Braden Wells, he saw pressure. There was a guy coming up in his face, but he was able to step back and just loft that ball over, avoid that pressure, and get the ball to Hudson Stitch, the 6'1", 160-pound junior. He's from Scottsdale when he got that touchdown pass. Great execution from the quarterback to the offensive lineman to the wide receiver.
Andrew Vines with the 17th extra point of the night. No, I'm just kidding. That was a great PAT right there for Vines. 42-0 now. The Saints on top of the Rams. 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here in our first half. We'll step aside, take a short break, and come right back here for more Thursday Night Football here on the Epic Sports Network. Stay with us. We'll be right back to Pinal County in just a bit.
I'm Marty Smith, and I'm a host and reporter for ESPN. When this opportunity came my way to become a member of Pit Boss Nation, I just started laughing, honestly. I started laughing because I was like, first of all, it fits right in my wheelhouse, but second, it's another way to build community.
Welcome back to Maricopa High School. Thursday Night Football on the air here on the Epic Sports Network. James Poovey coming to you alongside my partner, Ed Cole. Special shout out as well to our production team, including Mr. Joey Mosquero on the sideline camera tonight for us. The Maricopa Rams returning the football with 3:44 remaining here in our first half. Their offense takes the field here. And once again, Ed, a little bit of time here to get something going offensively here for the Rams before halftime.
You've got to do something. You've got 3.5 minutes left, and I guess we'll be in a running clock come the second half. But just again, for the special teams for Notre Dame Prep, they're up 42-0. But Keegan Lynch is running down there full speed after Jalen Mitchell to make that tackle.
Once again, that is coaching. That is getting your guys on the right page and getting them. Every down counts. Every rep that you can get. Take advantage of it.
And JP, it's effort and desire, right?
Right.
If you want it, you have to go after it, and that's what Keegan Lynch and his special teams crew did.
Especially on special teams, because let me tell you, that separates the men from the boys real quick.
Oh, yeah.
When you're flying down there to bust that wedge, Ed.
Oh, yeah. That makes your mark, and Coach Prelock will see that.
Oh, yeah. Film does not lie. 1st and 10 now for the Rams. They give it coming near side. And that looked to be number 7 on the call right there for Maricopa. The Rams with their red numbers trimmed in silver. And that is a familiar number 1 down here in Maricopa. That number 1 this year worn by Antonio Gibson, the 5'8" junior running back. But last season, that was worn by a man named Mr. Chavis.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Chavis could run the rock, Ed.
Yes, he could.
2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Maricopa coming near side with it. A great play now, crossing the 10, 15, and finally forced out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Damian Logan on the hunt right there for the Rams, and that was a great pickup.
It really was. Great job of Logan trying to sell that little bit of a handoff to Antonio Gibson, and then he called his own number, saw the open space on the left side. He got around that edge and got some positive yards. Really good play calling by Damian Logan.
1st down and 10 now for Maricopa. They give it once again on the carry. Carving his way through traffic. Number 1, Gibson on the tote.
Okay, I like that. Two consecutive running plays, two good positive plays. Here we go. If you're Maricopa, this is something you can build upon. Here we go.
Yeah, they're moving the football right now. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard pickup there from Antonio Gibson. 1 minute to play here in the first half. Protection a little better now for Maricopa. They go up top with it. He's got a man. It's incomplete. Penalty flag on the play. The intended target for Maricopa, number 7, Kyrie Washington, and John Ruvo in coverage there for Notre Dame Prep.
Mm-hmm. Let's see who they call it on. Is it offensive or defensive? PI.
Oh, boy.
Let's see.
Let's take a look at the replay. Ooh, that was real close right there.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite tell if that's going to be O or D. They look to put the ball back at the original line of scrimmage. Now they're going to mark off the penalty.
So it looks like it's on the defense.
So it is a defensive pass interference call, which is also an automatic 1st down. So right now, we talked about Maricopa getting something positive to build off of, and right now they are rising to the occasion right here before halftime.
JP, it's those things like that, penalties that you can get from your opposition to get you those extra yards. You'll take it if you're down 42-0. Anything will help.
Logan back to throw. He goes up top with it, a beautiful spiral into double coverage, and once again a penalty flag on the field. The intended target that time, they're spreading the wealth there. That was Caleb Garcia, and he might have drawn another pass interference penalty.
Maybe I thought I saw it. Maybe a little bit too much of contact by number 17, Keegan Lynch, the defensive back on there, on Caleb Garcia.
That is exactly the call, says our referee this evening, Mr. Steve Hall. Defensive pass interference, and right now 30 gifted yards here in the last 2 plays for the Maricopa Rams.
Okay, you'll take gifts and help wherever you can. Again, James, you're down 42-0. You need help any way you can get it if you're Maricopa.
Absolutely. A little bit of pace now here for the Maricopa Rams. Ball at the 47 now. Logan in the shotgun. Here's the snap. Looks to throw, fires over the middle. He's got a receiver. It's nearly intercepted. Great coverage that time down the field by Notre Dame Prep. Number 28, John Ruvo, along with number 9, Tommy Romano, and Maricopa. Lucky that one didn't get intercepted.
It was, because both of those young men were actually in front of the wide receivers, and they kind of got mixed up. They kind of hit each other. Otherwise, if they had a little bit more space between each other, JP, that might have been intercepted by either Ruvo or Romano.
11.3 seconds remaining here in our first half. Timeout on the field. 42-0 Saints over the Rams. Once again, make sure and follow us on Twitter at Epic Sports AZ so you can vote for that Pit Boss Grills game MVP during tonight's fourth quarter. And we are narrowing down those final 4.
As the train rolls down the track, we will roll that train down the track toward the Pitballs game MVP in the fourth quarter.
That's exactly right. A beautiful evening out here tonight, Ed. Gorgeous night sky, 73 perfect degrees, a clear night. The moon is shining. The crowd is out. The concession stand's open.
What more could you want in life, JP?
Jonesy's smiling. What else could you want?
Yeah, Jonesy's happy. He's coordinating everything, and, you know.
Second down upcoming, 2nd and 10 to be exact, upcoming here for Maricopa. They got to take a shot right here, man. 11 seconds to go in the half.
Sure.
You got to put it up.
Absolutely. That's why there's nobody in the backfield but
empty
the
backfield for Damian Logan. 5 wide. He rolls out to his right, shifts the pocket, sets his feet, throws down the field. He's got a man in the end zone. It's nearly complete. The intended target, that was number 7, Kyrie Washington, going for that home run ball.
James, it was in his hands. That was touchdown number 8 for him, and he just could not bring that in. Usually that's something that Kyrie makes a catch on that one, but he was not able to bring that in. Wow.
Another beautiful ball right there from Damian Logan. And this guy, just a sophomore, Ed, we talked about it. He makes plays with his arm. He can run it with his feet. And he is a dynamic threat here for the Maricopa Rams. We've reached the halfway point here in Pinal County. 42-0 our score. The Saints on top of the Maricopa Rams. We'll step aside. Halftime festivities coming up next. We'll be back for our second half in just about 15 minutes. Stay with us.
My name is Slade Gibson, owner of Trinity Homes AZ.
My name is Becky Gibson. I'm co-owner and lead designer.
We started Trinity Homes in a leap of faith back in 2004. After working for many other builders, we had decided to go ahead and start our own company so we could really work with the clients and have the same type of values that we do in our family. Our mission here at Trinity Homes AZ is to work side by side with each customer, making their home become their dream.
A common theme with our company is that we are not only building homes, but we're building relationships. And in the end, that's very important to us.
We have over 30 years of experience here at Trinity Homes, all the way from our project managers, our superintendents, our lead design. We can serve each and every client with their specific needs.
Parenting sure is full of mysteries, huh? That's why, at the Little Gym, everything we do is designed to make sure kids are whatever ready. ready to learn, ready for takeoff, ready to rock, ready to roll, and ready to shake it off and keep going. Our classes are based on lesson plans designed to get kids of all ages moving, boost their brain power, and with an emphasis on social and emotional learning, even improve the people skills they'll need for tomorrow, today. We call it three-dimensional learning. Kids just call it fun. More than a kid's gym, the Little Gym is a springboard for life's adventures. And every day, we're making, energizing, and inspiring whatever-ready kids.
Taylor's Pools. You can trust Taylor to take great care of your pool and ensure your complete satisfaction. From weekly cleanings to one-time cleanings, from pool draining to pool refilling, he does it all. Green to clear transformations, repairs, and new equipment installations. Trust your pool to Taylor's Pools. Call 623-200-2788. That's 623-200-2788. Taylor's Pools, a proud partner of Thursday Night Football.
Let's be honest, the world has changed. Everything is done a little differently now. But what hasn't changed is the time that you spend with us is still amazing. And even though things have been tough, we're here to help you unwind. Sheraton Tucson, showing you that the good times are back. We can't wait to see you. So get ready. It's time to check in.
I'm Eric Almirola, and I drive in the NASCAR Cup Series. I like to think of myself as a fun-loving guy. I have a wife and two beautiful children. I've really enjoyed the partnership that I've had with Pit Boss, and that it's still very new and very fresh, but it just feels so authentic. It feels so real, so just easy and down to earth, and I just really enjoy that.
Make every day game day and never miss a moment from your favorite team with the AZ Preps 365 Live High School Sports app. The official app for all Arizona high school sports teams gives fans instant access to up-to-the-minute scores, news, highlights, and much more. Customize the app to fit your needs, whether you're a student, coach, parent, or player. Download it now for free. Available in both the Google Play Store and Apple App Store. Make every day game day and never miss a moment from your favorite team with the AZ Preps 365 Live High School Sports app. The official app for all Arizona high school sports teams gives fans instant access to up-to-the-minute scores, news, highlights, and much more. Customize the app to fit your needs, whether you're a student, coach, parent, or player. Download it now for free. Available in both the Google Play Store and Apple App Store.
Taylor's Pools. You can trust Taylor to take great care of your pool and ensure your complete satisfaction. From weekly cleanings to one-time cleanings, from pool draining to pool refilling, he does it all. Green to clear transformations, repairs, and new equipment installations. Trust your pool to Taylor's Pools. Call 623-200-2788. That's 623-200-2788. Taylor's Pools, a proud partner of Thursday Night Football.
Let's be honest, the world has changed. Everything is done a little differently now. But what hasn't changed is the time that you spend with us is still amazing. And even though things have been tough, we're here to help you unwind. Sheraton Tucson showing you that the good times are back. We can't wait to see you. So get ready. It's time to check in.
Folks, welcome back to Rams Stadium here. 42-0. Notre Dame Prep is over Maricopa here in Maricopa, Arizona. We are at 45012 West Honeycutt Avenue, right out here in Pinal County. Ed Cole here for the Epic Sports Network with my broadcast partner, James Poovey. JP, 42-0, man. What do you say? Notre Dame Prep just absolutely dominated that first half. As we mentioned, 3 turnovers by Maricopa and Notre Dame Prep. The Saints took full advantage of it. Just so many weapons on Notre Dame's side, especially with that running game. Strong offensive line, great running attack, and their defenses, they just swarmed to the football on every single play that Maricopa tried to do offensively.
Notre Dame Prep is this really solid in all 3 phases of that offense, defense, and special teams as you see those all-white unis coming back out across the track here at Ram Stadium here in Maricopa, Arizona. And these guys are just dominant, man. They have a lot of ball players. They got senior leadership. They've got younger guys out there making plays. And what can you say about number 4, Andrew Vines?
Wow, just an absolute monster, an absolute battering ram. I don't think he's on the level of Derrick Henry yet. Of course, he's still young. He could possibly do that, but his offensive line has done a phenomenal job. Dylan Jones, Duke Fry, Matt Reinhart, Grant Gage, and Jake Burrow. He shoots the gap. Shoots every single gap that they make for him, and it's easy for him.
It's power football is what Notre Dame Prep likes to run. They line up. They like to run it between the tackles. They put Braden Wells under center. They'll do play action. They'll give it on a toss. They'll straight up run it up the A gap. You pick your poison with these guys.
Yeah, A, B, C, all the way through. They'll find a Z gap to run through, and Andrew Vines will run through a Z gap.
No kidding. I think there is actually a Z gap.
Is it really?
Like midway through the second quarter.
Okay, they found that one. Okay.
Talking about the second quarter, the Maricopa Rams started to rise up there, Ed, towards the end of that first half, and it looked like they were to get something going offensively until they threw another pick.
Yeah, Damian Logan, I like what I see from that young man. Yes. Number 4, the quarterback, the 6 foot, 170-pound sophomore. I love his running ability and the ability for him to throw the football. But let's see if they can build upon what they were able to do, at least for a good portion toward the end of the first half before they were unable to connect up with Kyrie Washington for what they would have hoped to have been that touchdown right before the half. But that's something that they can build upon. Again, it's not a lot from what was from the sample size we saw in the first 2 quarters of football, but it's something they can build upon. It's something.
Absolutely. Something's better than nothing as you see the Notre Dame Prep Saints out there doing their karaokes and getting loose here, getting ready for our second half of play. We thank you so much for tuning in tonight here on the Epic Sports Network. It's a gorgeous evening outside. Temperatures right around 69, 70 degrees. Ed, it is absolutely perfect outside.
And, JP, do you know what the great thing about the second half is? in the fourth quarter, we've got something we call the Pit Boss Game MVP. Is that right?
It's exactly
right. Is that the word on the street? I think I've heard a very popular segment here on the Epic Sports Network.
That is a very popular segment. We encourage everyone to get on Twitter. Follow us at Epic Sports AZ as you see the Maricopa Rams returning to the field of play here. And get on there and follow us at Epic Sports AZ. You can vote for that Pit Boss Grills Game MVP, and that's going to be coming your way at the top of the fourth quarter. We got to start drafting up that tweet here, Ed.
There's plenty of time for we've got in mind who we think it might be, but it could change over the course of now until the fourth quarter, James. We'll just have to see.
Absolutely right. We are about ready for our second half kickoff here. It's been all Notre Dame Prep Saints, but look for these Maricopa Rams to try to get back on track here in half number 2.
For you, what are keys for Maricopa to at least make it a little bit more respectable, at least get on the board and try to get something going positively?
I think they got to keep doing what they did at the end of that first half, firing off the football with the offensive line. They were providing really great protection there for those last few minutes and giving the quarterback, Damian Logan, time to go to the air with that really pretty ball that he throws.
I agree. Yes, just let his offensive line, hopefully his offensive line can, as you mentioned, give him that push, give him that protection, and then Damian Logan can do what he does either with his legs or with his arms. Whatever he sees that the defense is giving him, you take advantage of that.
Exactly right. For Notre Dame Prep, they just got to keep doing what they've done in the first half. And
what's out there?
Fill in the blank.
Yeah, your name here.
And, you know, a benefit to a game like this, Ed, as well, obviously we're in a blowout scenario here with 42-0 on the scoreboard here at halftime, but it gives the coaches a chance to get some of these younger guys in and let them get some varsity experience.
Exactly. And for Rick Skinner, the head coach of Maricopa, it's a learning experience. Again, he's in his 7th game as the head coach of Maricopa. It's a learning process for him as well as his football team. He's got a lot of young kids on this football team, and they're athletes, they're players. They're going to continue to fight until the very end. It's just they're up against a much superior opponent tonight in Notre Dame Prep. But this is a learning experience for them. They'll get through this third and fourth quarter. They'll get back, and of course they'll watch film, break it down, and get ready for their next opponent. But things are not going the way that Maricopa, that the Rams would like them to go at home in a section game. But, you know, it is what it is at this point. As you mentioned, just do anything that you can do positively on all 3 phases to make it a much better outcome, at least outside of the scoreboard.
And we certainly thank the athletic director here at Maricopa High School, Mr. Chris Drivinghawk, for having us out once again. This is where we got it all started, Ed, last October, on October 1st to be exact. We kicked off Thursday Night Football once again right here in Maricopa, Arizona. It was the Willow Canyon Wildcats and the Maricopa Rams that night. Right now it's the Notre Dame Prep Saints on the march. They're going to start their drive here at the 44-yard line. They lead this one 42-0. We are under the AIA running clock rule here, so it's going to be a pretty quick second half.
And that was a great kickoff run there by John Ruvo IV, getting them in really good field position as you were making the call. Yeah, they're in good position. What is that, the 44-yard line?
44-yard line. Braden Wells now from the shotgun. He's going to give it to his up back, and he gets across the 45-yard line, plunging his way out to the 47.
JP, that's number 10, Brady Meyer, the wide receiver / D-back, of course, running back right there. He's the 5'8", 155-pound sophomore from Chandler.
Nice carry right there. A gain of 3 on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 7 now from the Saints' 47-yard line. Wells now is going to go under center. An offset eye. They give it to the fullback now. He's got a great head of steam, crosses the 45-yard line, and that's where the ball will be spotted 1 yard past the line to gain. That is good for a Notre Dame Prep first down. Once again, Brady Meyer on the call right there, the 5'8", 155-pound sophomore with room to run.
Yeah. Offensive line giving him room, and he's making the plays happen himself with his own athletic abilities.
So now the ball at the 45-yard line for Notre Dame Prep, the 45-yard line of Maricopa. Shotgun snap to Wells. He gives it once again to number 10, and he is corralled right there by the Maricopa defense. Number 31 on the stop right there for the Rams, Chris Hayes, but that will be ultimately a face mask, Ed.
It was a face mask. That's the Mike linebacker, Chris Hayes, 5'11", 215-pound junior. He's one of those linebackers.
You're going to see it on the replay right there.
Oh, yeah.
Just trying to make that stop. Really not any malintent there. Just trying to corral that ball carrier and get him to the ground. But unfortunately for Maricopa, it's free yardage for the Notre Dame Prep Saints.
Yeah, just sometimes your hands get out there. Chris Hayes, in that situation, he's trying to make that tackle. Sometimes your hands move in different directions, and sometimes you grab a face mask like he did right there.
2-by-1 on the outside now for Wells. They send a man in motion. He looks to throw, fires it over the middle, a little tunnel screen there. It's complete with room to run, crossing the 10, 5, and near the goal line. Number 10 on the run. That is Brady Meyer. What a pitch and catch right there for the Saints.
Yes, sir, it was. So Andrew Vines was the star, just that backfield star right there. So now we get that depth that we talk about that Notre Dame has. You get Meyer in there, and he's been just a playmaker so far, a difference maker so far offensively for the Saints in the second half.
A fantastic look right there at that pitch and catch. Now Notre Dame Prep once again in business here, leading 42-0 here on the road at Maricopa. Wells now goes under center. They hand it off. Number 21 gets the call. He lowers his headgear, and he is met there by the Maricopa defense. A nice goal line stand there for the Rams, and I believe that was number 54 in on the charge there for Maricopa, and that is Anthony Ruiz, the 5'11", 190-pound sophomore defensive lineman.
Yeah, great job by Ruiz making that stop on number 21, Deacon Shea, the running back right there. Shea, 5'9", 165-pound sophomore. He's from Phoenix, Arizona.
Correction, Anthony Ruiz, a middle linebacker in there for the Rams. 42 tackles on the season, 18 solos, along with 24 assists and 5 TFLs. They could use a TFL right here, Ed. Offside eye now behind Wells. He's going to give it to the tailback, and he plunges ahead for a touchdown. Deacon Shea, number 21, with his second touchdown of the season. Both those touchdowns here tonight at Rams Stadium.
Yes, it was the Deacon Shea show right there as he got that run down in there to get that touchdown. Just the depth. Brady Meyer coming in, helping them get the ball down the field, and then Deacon Shea finishes it up with the touchdown run. So much depth that this Notre Dame Prep Saints team has, especially on offense. They're so strong.
They are deep.
Deep.
Penalty flags once again. 7 minutes and 17 seconds remaining here in our third quarter. Once again, under the AIA running clock rule. Timeout on the field, so we'll step aside and take that timeout with them. Actually, no timeout. They're going to kick it off here momentarily. 7:17 remaining in the third, Ed. It's all Saints. How about next week, Deer Valley and their quarterback, Rudy Gonzalez, squaring off against the Rough Riders of Yonker High School.
That'll be a fun game that we're going to go to Yonker and broadcast that game. That should be an excellent football game, and it only gets better as the season goes on with these matchups, these section matchups. Man, everything is on the line as you get so much further into the season, right, JP?
And we had a chance to go out to Yonker High School last season, Ed, for a little Thursday night football as well. That was the Buckeye Union Hawks and the Yonker Rough Riders, so it'll be great to be back out there once again for another edition of TNF. The Saints rolling here tonight in Maricopa. They're going to have a fun bus ride home, my man. Maybe they'll stop and get a little grub on the way.
Maybe hit Sonic.
Maybe hit, we're not quite far south enough for EG's, are we?
I don't think so.
Unless there's an EG's in Maricopa that I'm not aware of. Number 27 on the special teams tackle right there for Notre Dame Prep. That is Trevor Auerbach, 5'9", 150-pound junior. Also a running back for the Saints.
Yeah, JP, that's the operative word. Those guys that can play two tiers of offense and defense, that can play so many different roles on a football team. And Notre Dame Prep's got a wealth of talent. They've got a ton of guys that can play 2 and 3 levels of a football team.
Coach George Prelock over there in Scottsdale off of 9701 East Bell Road. He just continues to reload, and reload every single season. For those of you wanting your Dodgers update, that would usually be given by our pal KDB. It looks like the Dodgers are rolling right now, he says. Give him that score update, Kev, or Ed. Sorry.
So Kevin's over at Peoria Sports Complex doing Fall League baseball. The Dodgers are up 11-2 in the top of the ninth inning, so they'll get that back to game 6. They'll go back to Atlanta for game 6 at least.
That ball almost juggled there by the Maricopa Rams, number 10, Jalen Mitchell, but he's able to concentrate, hold on to the rock, and pick up a yard, maybe 2 on the play. Stopped by Deacon Shea there for Notre Dame Prep.
So Shea gets a touchdown run, and then he makes a stop on defense. Isn't that amazing how these young men can just turn around on the drop of a dime, JP, and change their mindset from offense to defense? It's incredible how these athletes do it.
You know, I'm looking for them to line up big number 90, Ben Robertson there, a little I formation, put him in that tailback. That's what I want to see before it's all done.
Yeah, throw him out there. Why not?
Coming near side with it now. It's complete to number 1 for Maricopa. That's Antonio Gibson on the delivery there from Damian Logan. A nice gain on the play. That'll bring up a 3rd down and what looks to be 6 yards to go.
And Logan lost his right shoe, so he had to go off to the sidelines to get put his shoe back on and get it tied back.
Possession play right here for Maricopa. Snap, he hands it off. Plunging ahead for a yard or so before he's stopped by number 57, Chase Wagner, is Jalen Mitchell. And Mitchell has gotten a lot of the work here out of the backfield tonight for Maricopa.
Absolutely. Get him to work.
4th down upcoming now for the Rams. They will more than likely punt it away. It appears that number 5, Gavin Smith, already in return formation now for Notre Dame Prep. Little cup toss now here, Ed. Number 6 rolling to his right, and he boots one into the Pinal County night sky. It goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line. That was Jaden Kanui, a defensive end there for Maricopa, and what a boot there for Kanui.
That was a great kick by Kanui. He kicked it further than you and I could kick it.
He was rolling out to his right, Ed, and was still able to get that thing off. A beautiful punt into the sky here at Maricopa High School. So now the Saints once again in business now, leading this one 49-0. Look for a lot of young kids to come in here and get some varsity playing experience.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's time for the young kids to get in here and get that playing time. You're up 49-0. There's really no reason to have the bulk of your starters out there. Get your young kids in there, as you mentioned. Give them some experience, and that'll really serve them well as you continue on into the season. And as the way this football team is playing, this is a playoff football team right here.
Oh, absolutely. These guys are poised and ready. You mentioned the depth. They've got the offensive line. They got the big boys up front paving the way for these speedy running backs. And this Notre Dame Prep team is poised to do some damage if they can keep the train rolling going into the playoffs. Pitch play now coming near side, number 10 with nowhere to go. That's Brady Meyer. And on the hunt for for Maricopa's defense, Ian Palm on the stop right there for the Rams.
And a personnel update for Notre Dame Prep. Number 14, Cooper Perry, is right there in quarterback right now. So they've pulled out Braden Wells. There's no need to have number 8 back out there.
Cooper Perry now in at quarterback. The freshman got a little wide receiver time earlier in tonight's ball game. He's in running the show now on offense for Coach Prelock and the Saints. He goes under center. One receiver to each side now. They run it inside. A big head of steam for number 10, Brady Meyer. And this guy, the sophomore, is just carving it up.
You know, James, it's so easy to just plug and play these guys in here. Just rinse and repeat. If it's Andrew Vines, you put him in there. If it's Brady Meyer, you put him in there. If it's Deacon Shea, you put him in there. No matter what running back you put back there, whoever you put back there, that offensive line, even if it's your second or third level of your offensive line, they are that strong that they are going to continue to create holes in lanes and whatever seams, whatever adjective you want to use to describe the hole that offensive line makes, these running backs can get through them.
Yes, indeed. 3rd and 6 now here for the Saints. Play fake. He rolls to his left. He's going to tuck it and run. He accelerates and crosses the line to gain. Finally brought down at the 40-yard line. Actually make that the 41. What a carry right there for the Notre Dame Prep Saints quarterback, Cooper Perry.
Oh, yeah.
How about the athleticism right here, Ed? Look at it.
Love that. From the 6'2", 170-pound freshman from Carefree. Good job right there, number 14.
A very heady play as well, not to force that down the field and throw an interception. Smart enough to tuck it away, use his ability, and get that first down.
Exactly. James, you're up 49 points. Why force the issue if you don't have to?
Under center now, once again, it's Perry. He bangs it inside, does number 10, Brady Meyer. And Meyer, another nice chunk of yards right there for the Saints. A gain of 4 on the play. 2nd and 6 upcoming here for Notre Dame Prep. Under a minute to play here in the 3rd.
The holes that number 75, Jake Burrow, the center, and the left guard, Grant Gage, makes to allow those running backs to get through there, they're massive holes. It's unbelievable how those running backs just see that hole and they just go straight, JP, straight down the middle.
A little problem right there with the mesh between Cooper Perry and number 10, Brady Meyer, but somehow Meyer able to skirt out of there and pick up a few yards, but we've got a flag on the play.
Yeah, Perry and Meyer got mixed up back in the backfield. They ran into each other, but still, they were able to make that handoff, and Meyer did what he could to get anything other than a loss.
We wait for the confirmation from our AIA officiating crew tonight, led by our referee, Mr. Steve Hull. A 7-man crew on hand here this evening for the AIA. Steve Hull, line judge John Tomsich, field judge Enos Jordan. Back judge tonight is Ryan Golden. Our umpire, Brian Douglas. Head linesman, Thomas Kelly. And our side judge tonight is Pat Baca. What are your thoughts on this one right here, Ed? What did you see?
I'm just trying to. I've got my binos on. I'm trying to see what the referee.
Dead ball foul.
Yep, personal foul against the defense.
15-yard.
And
we have an ejection.
Whoa. Okay.
So chances are that was probably a little bit too much jawing for the officiating crew's liking, and someone has been tossed.
Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct. And I like the fact that the 7-man crew, they got that under control, because all that jawing, you know what that can turn into. All that jawing can turn into an all-out brawl if you don't have that under control. If you don't nip it in the bud right now, something's going to happen.
Exactly right. They've got to put a stop to that right then and there. And unfortunately for Maricopa, that means that gentleman will be ineligible to play in next week's game. The ejected party that time was number 31, Chris Hayes, the 5'11", 215-pound junior for Maricopa.
So he is out for the Horizon game, right?
Yes. We play on now with 3.7 seconds remaining here in our 3rd quarter. It's all Saints here tonight in Maricopa. We wind the clock, and that is the end of our 3rd quarter. We've played 36 minutes here at Ram Stadium here in Pinal County, Maricopa, Arizona, the site of tonight's 5A matchup. It's all Saints over the Rams, 49-0. Ed Cole and I will be right back here for our 4th and final quarter right after this. Welcome back to Ram Stadium here in Maricopa, Arizona. We're ready for our fourth and final quarter under the AIA running clock rule. It's all Saints here tonight against the Rams, 49-0. False start is the call as we open our fourth quarter of play. Follow us on Twitter at Epic Sports AZ and vote for tonight's Pit Boss Grill's game MVP. We're going to put those final four candidates up for you here momentarily. And encourage you to get on and vote early and often.
Yes,
go ahead, Ed.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a sneak preview who it is. On Notre Dame Prep, it'll be Brock Narveson and Andrew Vines, the running back for Notre Dame Prep. And for Maricopa, it will be quarterback Damian Logan and Ian Palm. So just a sneak preview as JP is typing up the tweet right now.
Absolutely, I love it. A first down play right there. Good for no gain. 2nd and 7. Actually, a loss of 2 on the play now. 2nd and 17 upcoming here for Notre Dame Prep.
And number 10, Brady Meyer, continues to get some play back there in the running back position, back there in the backfield. He continues to get those reps, JP, that we talk about, that experience as he continues to grow, the sophomore. Number 14, Cooper Perry, back there still at quarterback for Notre Dame Prep. As they are well within striking distance of a score. Cooper Perry gets the snap. Cooper Perry takes it right off the right edge. Gets some positive yards. Flag on the play considering it was a low snap and Cooper Perry had to make concessions for that low snap. He was still able to get the ball, collect himself, get it around to the right side, get it around that edge, and get some yards, but we'll see what the penalty is. It's against the offense. False start, back it up a little bit, back it up some yards. Running clock, we're under 10.5 minutes left here in Maricopa, 49-0, Notre Dame Prep over Maricopa.
Folks, make sure you get on Twitter. Vote at Epic Sports AZ for our Pit Boss Grills game MVP. We are under the running clock rule tonight here at Ram Stadium, so you got 7 minutes to vote for your choice out of our final four. Coming near side with it. It's complete across the 30-yard line on the reception. Number 7, Hudson Stitch. And this guy's a playmaker as well for Coach Prelock and the Saints.
Yes, he is. I am so impressed by what Cooper Perry's been able to do so far since he's taken over at the quarterback position. He's been able to roll out. He's made some really smart decisions. He rolled out to his left right there and saw Hudson Stitch. He just ran out there, saw him, and just flicked the ball to him. Very easy play for him to make. Hard for you and I to make, but easy for him to make.
Exactly right. 3rd down and 15 now. Possession play right here for the Notre Dame Prep Saints. They lead this one 49-0. Don't forget, get on Twitter right now, folks. Get your phones out. Go to Epic Sports AZ and vote for tonight's Pit Boss Grills game MVP.
Yeah, and we've got a great foursome that we've got on display right there. So, again, Epic Sports AZ, get on there. Get your votes in for who you think is the Pit Boss game MVP.
You got about 5 or 6 minutes left to vote. Rolling out to his right, Perry is under pressure. He escapes the pressure, directs traffic down the field, and he is finally upended on the far side of the field at the 21-yard line. And Perry took a couple of shots on that play right there.
Devin Huffman was so pesky. He was going after Cooper Perry. Cooper Perry was kind of like a fly, like, get off me, get away from me, get away from me, as he was trying to get around the edge right there. What a great play. But give Devin Huffman credit. He continued to stay with him. He did what he could to try to bring down Cooper Perry. Great effort.
What a fantastic shot on the replay right there.
Oh, man.
4th and 10 now for the Saints. They are going to go ahead and go for it here. 8:27 and counting here in our fourth. Next Thursday night, we will head west. Just off the I-10, we'll be in Yunker for the Deer Valley Skyhawks. Quarterback Rudy Gonzalez, one of the candidates this year, Ed, for the Ed Doherty Award. Into the end zone, nearly hauled in for the touchdown. It's incomplete. The intended target, number 3, Scotty Simmons, the 5'9", 165-pound senior. And he was looking for the over-the-shoulder ball right there.
Yeah, he was trying to do that back shoulder fade from Perry. Great throw from him to Simmons, but Antonio Gibson, give him credit for being able to get in there and impede that and knock that ball away and force the incompletion, and force what would have been a touchdown to Scott Simmons.
So now a turnover on downs. Maricopa will take over at their own 21-yard line, trailing 49-0. 7.5 running minutes remaining here in our fourth quarter.
And folks, again, get on Epic Sports AZ because we have a running clock. We've got to get this.
Yeah, get in there. We're going to hammer it.
Yeah, we got to hit this Pit Boss MVP quicker because the time is moving that much faster.
We can usually give you about 10 or 15 minutes to vote on that, but tonight it's got to be a little bit more expeditious. Rolling to his right and firing near side is number 4, Damian Logan, and the wide receiver he found that time was number 9, Andreas Garcia, the sophomore, but there's a penalty flag on the field. 3 minutes left to vote for tonight's Pit Boss Game MVP. Right now, it's tied with 50% of the vote for Andrew Vines and Brock Narveson. So make sure and get on there and vote for your Pit Boss fan-voted game MVP.
James, that was a holding call against Maricopa. That'll back him up.
So that'll back the Rams up 5 yards. Make that 10 yards now. It's going to be first down and 20 after the holding penalty. 3 minutes left to vote. Logan looks to throw. He's under pressure. Gets out of the pocket. What a job of escaping that. And the rush, finally too much there from Notre Dame Prep. And they're going to say it's incomplete. They say his arm was coming forward, Ed. So that ball is ruled incomplete. And we have an injured player for Maricopa down on the field. So with 5 minutes and 56 seconds remaining, we'll take the injury timeout. You're watching the Epic Sports Network's presentation of Thursday Night Football. We'll come right back to Maricopa right after this.
I'm Marty Smith, and I'm a host and reporter for ESPN. When this opportunity came my way to become a member of Pit Boss Nation, I just started laughing, honestly. I started laughing because I was like, first of all, it fits right in my wheelhouse, but second, it's another way to build community. So I'm ready to crank that thing up.
Why do people everywhere love my style checking?
It has rewards you'll flip for.
I love my travel rebates!
With my style, the spotlight's always on me.
We can send money with Zelle. Good boy.
For me, it's instant issue debit card.
Find out why people everywhere love My Style Checking from Mountain America at macu.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Maricopa, Rams Stadium. 49-0 Notre Dame Prep over the Rams. 5:56 left in the fourth quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, please get on Epic Sports AZ, get on the Twitter feed, and vote for your Epic Sports Pit Boss Game MVP. Right now, it's pretty tight, JP. What do we got here as far as votes are concerned?
It is nearly a three-way tie, and now someone just split the tie now. Leading the way right now is Andrew Vines with 38% of the vote. We got about 30 seconds left to vote on there, folks. Get on there. Follow us at Epic Sports AZ. And as always, make sure you subscribe to the Epic Sports Network YouTube page. We got 3 more games coming your way this season. Next week, we're out at Yunker for Deer Valley at Yunker. Next week, after that, we'll be in East Mesa for the Dobson Mustangs hosting the Tucson Badgers. And then our final game of the season will be at Northwest Christian High School, right around the corner from the house, with the Greenway Demons and Coach Dave Ennis's Northwest Christian Crusaders.
You'll like that game, won't you, JP? Right around the street from your house?
I will love that game, my friend.
I like Yonker because I'm not too far from there.
That's your hometown. That's
right.
Your home base right there, just
pretty
right around
close.
the corner.
Pretty close.
Why don't you tell them who wins tonight's Pit Boss Grill's game MVP?
Oh, my gosh.
Give it to them. Drum roll, please. Hold on.
With 38% of the vote, Andrew Vines wins just narrowly over Brock Narveson. How close was that over his teammate? 38% for him, 37% for Brock Narveson, 25% for Ian Palm, and Damian Logan bringing up the rear at number 4.
A beautiful ball through the night sky right there into double coverage. It's picked off momentarily, but there's penalty flags all over the field. Congratulations once again, Andrew Vines. A well-deserved nod as the Pit Boss Grill's game MVP here tonight in this edition of Thursday Night Football here on the Epic Sports Network. A well-deserved win for that young man. He has done something special here tonight on the football field.
Oh, absolutely. No question. Touchdown run, put the team up 14-0 in the first quarter, and they never looked back from there.
That's how the pros do it right there. You can look right back at your notes right there, Ed. That is fantastic.
That's right.
Man. I am admiring you right now, my friend.
And also, how strong was Vines on special teams as well?
Oh, my goodness.
Do it all.
Unbelievable.
How great was he on that oil change, too?
Yeah, that's coming up.
It's coming.
I think there's a tranny flush up ahead for that school bus this weekend over there in Notre Dame Prep.
He'll take care of that, too.
False start is the call here. Flags flying here with under 5 minutes to go in a running clock fourth quarter. So glad you joined us here tonight on the Epic Sports Network. Ed, Thursday Night Football was on the air for the NFL this evening, and the way it started tonight for the Broncos, my Broncos, I'm scared to go look at the final score. But I have a feeling you're going to give it to me here in a second.
Well, leave it up to your imagination.
Pressure comes. Logan goes to the air. He's got a man, but it's incomplete. The intended target, from what I can tell, was number 5, Caleb Garcia, the 5'9" junior. We had a nice chat with him as well last night on the program. So if you folks didn't get a chance to check that out, go to our Epic Sports Network YouTube channel right where you're watching this very game, and you can check out those interviews. Both we have one up there for Notre Dame Prep and for Maricopa as well.
No question. We talked to 4 of the Maricopa young men, including Caleb Garcia. Just absolutely stellar character young men that Coach Skinner has, and he's developing. What a great conversation we had with him last night. Again, folks, go to Epic Sports AZ and check out that interview we had with Coach Prelock and Brock Narvison and Gavin Smith from Notre Dame Prep.
Yeah,
great
that
interviews.
was fun.
Great chats we had last night.
That was a good time. 3rd and long here for the Rams. Logan rolls out to his right. Pressure comes off the edge. He goes backside now. He's going to turn and try to throw it out of the end zone. He nearly has a man. The intended target, once again, was Caleb Garcia, but just too much heat from that Notre Dame defensive front.
But Logan, give him credit. He escaped all that pressure. I thought you were going to get him for a safety right there, but he was just able to get that ball out and could make the completion to Garcia. But great athleticism for Logan to run around there and run, and hopefully he was trying to spot a wide receiver open so he can get rid of the ball so he can get that pressure off of his back.
Logan ran about 87 yards on that incompletion right there, Ed, but what an effort there from number 4, just a sophomore.
Great job.
And he has got a bright future ahead here for this Maricopa Rams football team.
Oh, yeah. I love what I see from number 4. He is the future is bright for that young kid.
The Rams are going to punt it away. Back deep to receive now for the Saints. It'll be number 27, Trevor Auerbach. Auerbach waits at the midfield stripe right on top of the big red M there for Maricopa. Fielded at the 50 now, crossing the 45, 40. Making a move on a tackler, getting a block at the 35, and finally out of bounds near the 30-yard line. And it looks like number 32 on the stop right there for the Maricopa Rams. Once again, Ian Palm, one of our candidates tonight for the Pit Boss Grill's game MVP. And that was a pretty nice return right there for Maricopa.
It was. It was a great kick by Jaden Kanui from Maricopa, and an even better run back there from Trevor Auerbach. As you mentioned, he got the blockers, and he saw his blockers were creating those holes. And, again, with his vision, his sight of the field and where he wanted to go, great run back by Auerbach, number 27.
Great return for Notre Dame Prep is what I meant to say. 1st and 10 now, Saints. From the 31, they hand it off. Number 37 gets the call this time. It's Luke Laborio. Laborio, a 5'10", 170-pound sophomore running back for Coach George Prelock. He picks up a gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and 7 now upcoming here for the Saints.
Continue with that depth, JP. That is really going to serve them well as they make that march toward the playoffs. Am I right?
Exactly right.
You know, just having those guys that you can just sub in whenever you want to. Anybody that Coach Prelock sees on his sidelines that he wants to put in there, he has that confidence that he can put those kids in there and they can deliver.
Because as you know, Ed, as you get deeper into the season and then go into those playoffs, it's about the health of your football team and who can line up and play. Because as we say, the best ability in football is availability.
That's right.
3rd and 9 now for the Saints. A TFL right there assessed by the Maricopa Rams. 1 minute to play here in the ball game tonight. A 5A matchup here. It's been all Saints here tonight in Pinal County. They have taken care of business here against these Maricopa Rams. Perry now in the best formation in football, made famous by the current Arizona State University head coach, Herm Edwards, the victory formation, Ed.
That's right.
Under 30 seconds to play here in this one. Special thanks once again to our Epic Sports Network production group tonight, the Joneses and Mr. Mascaro roaming the sideline, bringing you the video from down low. We are 10 seconds away from calling this one. It'll be the Saints getting the win here tonight on the road, 49-0. Ed, your final thoughts as we wrap up here this evening.
James, just a dominant performance by the Notre Dame Prep Saints. 49 points. They jump all over them, 14-0 in the first quarter. You start off with the Gavin Smith punt return. That really sets the tone for what Notre Dame Prep was able to do. And Maricopa turned the ball over 3 times. Notre Dame Prep took advantage of those. Andrew Vines gets a touchdown run. Will Halmakangas gets a touchdown catch. Brock Narvison gets a touchdown catch. Deacon Shea runs for a touchdown. Hudson Stitch gets a touchdown run. Shea gets another touchdown run in the third quarter to make it 49-0. Just offense dominant, defense dominant, special teams very solid. This is an absolutely outstanding football team that runs their record to 5-2. Now they're 2-0 in the 5A Santan.
And Maricopa drops to 2-5 on the season under the direction of Coach Rick Skinner in his first season for the Rams. Once again, we talked with Coach Skinner about the youth on his football team, but he's got some studs out here, and these guys are going to continue to gel, continue to play together, and just get more cohesive as a unit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I like Damian Logan, the quarterback, how they work in him and Devin Huffman, so they'll figure out how they want to work those 2 quarterbacks in. But Devin Huffman, impressive. Devin Huffman, impressive. They'll continue to learn. Jalen Mitchell, really solid running back. He'll continue to grow as he continues to get better. He's a sophomore, so his ceiling is super high. And you talk about Ian Palm, one of the best linebackers the state has to offer. The future's bright for this football team. Yes, they're 2-5, and they've got their struggles already, but that's okay. They'll continue to get better. This is again a learning experience. They'll break down the film and get ready for their next opponent, but it didn't turn out the way they wanted. Notre Dame Prep hung 49 up on them, but it is what it is. They'll get back to work and go back to the drawing board.
The sun will rise tomorrow, and
yes,
we'll live to play another day. Once again, our final score here tonight from Maricopa High School, Notre Dame Prep 49 and the Maricopa Rams 0. For my partner, Ed Cole, for our sideline camera operator, Mr. Joey Mascaro, and for our Jones production crew, I'm James Poovey saying so long from Maricopa High School. Have a great night. We'll talk to you next week from Yunker High School. Everybody take care and have a great weekend.